Strap in, folks, because this debate is already on fire. Sir James Cleverly has just come out swinging, branding Labour's so-called devolution bill a full-blown power grab. And he's not holding back. He's painting a picture of Whitehall hoarding power while stripping local councils of control, even likening it to Big Brother himself. This isn't just a bill, he says, it's an attack on democracy. But is that really the case? Let's dive into this explosive showdown.
Shadow Secretary of State, Sir James Cleverly.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank you. The English Devolution and Community Empowerment Bill. It is a title straight out of the Ministry of Truth. Because this isn't about devolution. It is a blatant power grab by the Deputy Prime Minister. A right honourable lady for whom I have a huge amount of respect. But it is clearly a power grab by her and her department. And it isn't about community empowerment at all. It's about stripping power from local authorities and concentrating it in Whitehall and the people who are being held by Whitehall in their hands. Big Brother would be proud. Centralisation is devolution. Whitehall diktat is community empowerment. And the fact that it does the opposite of what it claims, as we have set out in our reasoned amendment, is why we cannot give this bill a free pass. Because this bill sidelines communities. This bill forces restructuring without consent. This bill wastes money while families are facing higher bills because of Labour's mismanagement. This bill disrupts and distracts councils from building the homes that local people need. Those are our objections. That is what we have set out in our reasoned amendment. And if the government wants to win the confidence of this House rather than just shoehorning its backbenchers through the division lobbies, it needs to justify the demands embedded in this bill. And we will set out what those demands are. And through the debate and in the summing up, I sincerely hope that the government answers these questions. Why centralise control? Why raise taxes? Why deny residents their voice? These are the questions that are being asked, and these are the questions that the Treasury benches need to answer before credibly making progress through this House with this bill. Madam Deputy Speaker, the case is set out before the House. And before the benches opposite get too excited, let me put a few spectres that have been raised to bed. The Conservative Party believe in devolution, not just in theory, but in practice. We created many of the mayoral roles that currently exist. We created police and crime commissioners. We empowered parish councils and neighbourhood planning. We gave families the power to block excessive council tax rises. We devolved by consent, by agreement with local leaders, not by Whitehall diktat. Because the simple truth of the matter is Labour do not and have never believed in devolution, and they do not deliver meaningful devolution. They are a centralising party, and they centralise. They are abolishing councils. They are abolishing councils without consent. They are forcing councils to sign up to their model of restructuring, and they force the postponement of elections in 9 county councils. This was unprecedented. Elections are the foundation of democracy, and denying them undermines public trust and confidence. Because in truth, Because in truth, denying residents their democratic voice was done for a very specific reason, and it was done because Labour fears what people would say to them at the ballot box.
Right, honourable gentleman, for giving way, but he's just listed a load of reasons of what the Tories did with devolution. Can he not deny that the reason we need devolution and the reason we need local government reorganisation is because his government significantly underfunded local government, which is now on its knees, and therefore we have to take action to get local government back in a good place. And devolution and local government reform is one of those actions.
Sir James Cleverly.
I think he said the quiet bit out loud, Madam Deputy Speaker. This is about putting up taxes on local people. This is what fundamentally this is about. That's exactly what this is about. And we know this to be true. And I promised the House, I did not tee up that intervention. This is the next bit that I had in my speech. Because Labour imposing this restructuring from the centre is leaving local people without a voice. It is about creating what this government wants, which is a cohort of subservient Labour mayors. And let's look at what Labour mayors actually deliver. And as I say, Madam Deputy Speaker, this was written before that intervention. Labour mayors put up taxes. Labour mayors increase the tax burden on local people. Liverpool City Region, up by 26%. Greater Manchester, up by 8%. West Yorkshire, up by 6%. And in Labour, under Sadiq Khan, up by over 70%, 70% since he took office in 2016. They're quiet now, aren't they, Madam Deputy Speaker? Because the truth hurts. Go on.
Could he answer then why they keep getting re-elected to mayor?
Sir James Cleverly.
I'll be mentioning Paul Bristow later on in my speech, Madam Deputy Speaker. And because the difference is that under Conservative mayors, we keep costs down. Ben Houchin, for example, delivering a zero preset. And if more places get mayors under this Labour proposal, how much more will local people pay? Will ministers, the Right Honourable Lady or whoever is replying from the Treasury benches, will they guarantee that costs will not go up under this model? Will they guarantee that council tax won't rise under this model? Or is this another set of taxes on hard-working families by stealth? Because the truth is, the record of Labour mayors is that they increase taxes by well above the rate of inflation. And also, will the pressure on parish council precepts also hit hard-working local people in the pockets? Because on these benches, we are in no doubt that once again, under Labour, it will be hard-working families and local people that pay the price for their ineptitude. And it's not only families that will be hit. This bill forces councils to merge. And prudent councils that have been careful with their money will be forced to inherit the debt of other councils. How on earth is that fair? Penalising good financial management at local government level. And what protections will be in place to protect people from higher bills? Because looking through this bill, there are no protections that I can see, and I will give way.
I thank my right honourable friend for giving way. How does he think my constituents on the Isle of Wight feel about being fused under a combined mayor authority with Hampshire without having a single say on it?
James Cleverly.
And Madam Deputy Speaker, this goes to the heart of these proposals, because for all their warm words about community engagement, about community voice, about communities actually having a say, this is a classic example And I visited the Isle of Wight, not only in a personal capacity, but also as a guest of my honourable friend. And I know full well that whilst the county of Hampshire has got many, many, many excellent...
Yes, and there it is. The spark that sets this debate alight. Labour fires back, accusing the Conservatives of starving councils of funds for years, leaving local government on its knees. Cleverly pounces, turning it into a tax war, hammering Labour mayors over council tax hikes in Liverpool, Manchester, and London. The tension here is electric. Underfunding versus overtaxing. Two sides trading blame with no mercy. But let's pause. Do you think the Shadow Secretary is right to call this restructuring a sham? Or is Labour's argument about chronic Tory cuts the stronger one? Drop your thoughts below. This clash cuts right to the heart of who really broke local government.
Things. The people of the Isle of Wight want to maintain their autonomy, and they should have the right to do so if that is what they want. And it's not just that local councils will lose control of their finances. Local councils will lose control of their powers. These powers are being stripped from them through clauses in this bill. Mayors are gaining sweeping planning powers, sweeping transport powers, without council consent or indeed representation. Let me give you an example. What if communities oppose punitive anti-driver proposals coming from a mayor in their local neighbourhoods? How can they make their voices heard? Who will win? Will it be the mayor imposed upon them, or will it be the local communities? And what will be the accountability model for those mayors? Because there is nothing in the bill that we can see where people can hold mayors accountable. No provision for meaningful scrutiny during the tenure of the mayoralty. And she makes reference to the upward-only rent reviews. And I completely get that that is a superficially attractive set of proposals. But what actual assessment has been made on the effective valuation of commercial property, including properties which are owned by the local authorities themselves? And if she is confident it is such a good idea, why was there no scrutiny? Why was there no consultation of these proposals? Do ministers really think that that is best practice when it comes to creating a stable investment environment and confidence in people spending money in high street properties, commercial properties that keep our communities alive? The silence on those questions in this bill is frankly deafening, because they have no answer. Because this bill is not about empowering local communities, and it is definitely not about empowering local councils. It is about creating a cohort of puppet mayors controlled by the Right Honourable Lady's department. And I give a good, and as I say, I respect her enormously. Her ability to strip power, not just from local councils, but also from the Prime Minister, is something well worth watching. And I think that we should be at least impressed with that. But I put it to the benches opposite. If this is about community empowerment, why does it reduce local representation? If it is about fiscal responsibility, why will it burden ratepayers, council taxpayers, with debts that their local authorities did not create? If it is about more homes, why does it hamper and suffocate councils with increased bureaucracy? Madam Deputy Speaker, devolution can work, and it indeed does work when it is done properly. And we know that it works because Conservative mayors have delivered. Ben Houchin saved Teesside Airport. He delivered the UK's largest free port with 18,000 quality jobs. He secured Treasury North in Darlington with 1,400 high-skilled roles, all with a zero mayoral precept. Paul Bristow in Cambridgeshire and Peterborough, ending Labour's ideological attack on drivers. Boris Johnson, whilst Mayor of London, delivering the 2012 Games and securing Crossrail. And in the West Midlands, Andy Street, a genuine champion for his region, a household name, and replaced by who? A person who isn't even a household name in his own household. And that says it all. We Conservatives deliver. We delivered devolved government, which delivered infrastructure, delivers jobs, delivers economic growth. And what has Labour delivered? Higher costs and broken promises. More tax, less delivery. That is the Labour way.
I thank him very much for giving way. Sorry for treading on his punchline there. I was very pleased to hear the Right Honourable Gentleman's newfound enthusiasm for Teesside. It's something that we all share. But it seems to stand at odds with the comments he made to my predecessor about the town of Stockton. Would he like to, does he stand by those comments, those terrible comments that he made? Or would he like to take this opportunity to apologise to my constituents?
Madam Deputy Speaker, he really does need to keep up. I addressed those comments at the time. I've been to Stockton. I've campaigned with my good friend and colleague, the Conservative Mayor for the town, and he will know, because I've campaigned, I've knocked on doors at Stockton. I have a huge amount of respect for the town. The point I was making was about the then Labour representative, who I was not terribly impressed with, and he knows that is the case. The simple fact of the matter is we were always deeply sceptical that the content of the bill would match the aspirational title of the bill. So we set 5 tests, and those tests were framed in the form of 5 simple questions. 1, is it a genuine choice for councils? 2, do all affected tiers agree with the changes? 3, is there genuine public support for the changes? 4, will the changes keep bills down? And 5, will the changes protect social care? And having looked through this bill, it is clear that the answer to every single one of those questions is no. 5 questions, 5 failures. Madam Deputy Speaker, as I have said, Conservatives are in favour of devolution when done properly, but only if that devolution is actually meaningful, only if local communities and their immediate representatives actually have got the power to deliver. We are its champions because we delivered it. We have proven that it works, but it must be by consent. It cannot be by compulsion. It should be by partnership, not imposition, by empowering councils and councillors, not by erasing them. This bill is not devolution. This bill is central control. This bill is higher taxes. This bill is weaker local democracy. This bill is a power grab by the Right Honourable Lady. It fails to deliver on its promise, and that is why the House must decline to give a second reading and demand that the government rethinks these proposals.
So what did we just witness? A blistering Conservative attack framing Labour's devolution plan as nothing more than centralisation in disguise. Higher taxes, weaker councils, and so-called puppet mayors. Labour, on the other hand, insists restructuring is the only way to fix years of Tory underfunding. At its core, this debate exposes a fundamental question about power in Britain. Should it sit with Westminster or with the communities themselves? One thing's clear: neither side is backing down. If you found this debate as explosive as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping UK political breakdowns.